I'm Gary Roberts, one of the founders of Unicomm. Started in 2009. We met at a company called iHotDesk, and I was looking to do something on my own, and that was why I made the move. Got approached by this IT company that I used to do a lot of lead sharing with, said, you know, if you were going to move, we'd have approached you to set a business up with us. So I said, okay, let's talk about it. I want Simon to come with me. So we founded what was then called iHotDesk Communications within a company called iHotDesk. 2 years we set that up, and we were selling to their customers as well as new business. And then after 2 years, one of the directors wanted to leave. So, and the director that was remaining with the IT business didn't want telecoms. So we said, right, we'll take it on our own, and formed Unicomm.
Simon Drew, as Gary said, we was working together at iHotDesk. It was always an ambition of mine to start a business. And speaking to Gary, opportunities came up. And we both wanted to start a business, run a business, and then sell a business. So it was good to actually fulfil that ambition right the way through to the end of the sale. And yeah, it was a good journey, ups and downs, and good fun along the way, as well as stress. But yeah, it was all worthwhile. We learned a lot through the process of running a business. We had the ups and downs, and it was good fun, but also stressful. And when it's just two of you running a business and covering so many different aspects of the business, it can be quite stressful. But we managed to smooth it out.
I think it's you get to a level where everything's all running along smoothly, and then something causes a complete U-turn or a massive change, whether it's an industry shift. But it was still constantly trying to re-evolve and reinvent yourself and change things, and we're seeing that in the industry now, that it's another change coming, and it's always challenging to do that and trying to get things back up to where you are, but it seemed a constant sort of roller coaster of everything's running lovely, oh no, everything's changing, and COVID was a classic example of how quickly it can change.
We had no particular vertical. We just concentrated on companies that were sort of in and around London, and both of our experiences were dealing with sort of medium-sized businesses rather than small businesses and some large businesses. So we just concentrated on what we were good at.
I think it goes back to the early days. We would get a deal wherever there's a deal to be had, sort of thing. So, because you know, when you're building a business from nothing, it was anywhere you can get an opportunity, and a lot of our business came from referrals.
Yeah.
So it's people would introduce us to people and say, these guys are looking for something. So it was really following where the referrals were taking us.
COVID changed the market a hell of a lot. Our thoughts were around about probably 2025 was our aim of when we would have sold if COVID hadn't happened. And after COVID, the market changed massively. More people were just doing Teams meetings, and it took the enjoyment out of what we enjoyed of the job of going out, seeing customers and meeting customers face to face. So because of that reason, and we were getting calls all the time about, are we looking to sell, are we looking to sell, we decided to speak to Evolution Capital and really understand the process of what we'd have to go through for if we did sell the business, and what sort of valuation we would get.
We're also getting approached by vendors, M&A consultants, to say, you know, now's the right time, the multiples are high. So curiosity really sort of drove us to do something, and there were other people we were talking to, and it came to the point of, yeah, let's pursue it properly and get a decent valuation, and then make a decision based on that. We knew what we would like, but not what it we were going to get, because that's part of what we wanted to engage with people such as yourself to get that experience of what the multiple could look like and what the valuation would be at that moment in time. It was sort of roundabout where we thought it would be based on what we knew of the industry and what we'd heard, but you never know until you get a proper somebody who knows about valuations giving you that valuation, and I think that's what part of the process that we started out on. We did have a meeting going back to 2018, I think it was.
It was 2019.
Yeah,
that was
2019 was it? And so we were just sort of understanding. I mean, we actually went through the process of possibly buying a mobile business, and in that process we understood how important it was to engage with professionals to help you through that. That business didn't go through because due diligence showed that it wasn't worth the valuation put to it. So it was in that process, I think we'd learned that we need to get people that understand the whole process that you've got to go through to be your advisors and be like an insurance policy to make sure that what you set out to achieve, you do achieve. We just felt that Evolution were better fit for us because of the level of detail and the granularity that you go to gave us the reassurance that we were going to get the right sort of representation. We just felt that the strength of, and the depth of what you provide, doing the due diligence, doing everything involved with the transaction made us feel much more comfortable.
So I mean, we wasn't aware that companies wouldn't see you from the start to the finish. Yeah, I mean, it's very important for us to have that. You guys, yeah, you said that you'll be with us from start to finish, and you were. So works well for us. Sam was great. He worked very closely with us. He asked a hell of a lot of information from us, which was needed. He stayed with us from the start to the finish, and fought our corner and achieved what we wanted. So we can't argue with any of that. He was very good. I mean, it took a year, I suppose, didn't it? About a year to go through. So it felt like he was really working for Unicomm, which was good.
Yeah, it did feel like he was part of the team, and he understood our business or our finances of our business probably better than I did because he got so into it, and he understands that sector of, that's his thing, is finances and money and numbers, and the level of detail that he went into and understood. I mean, it was the case of, he got a unique ID number and he knew which customer it was, whereas forever looking at the mapping. He was really knew the business and got to know the business and understand the business on a much deeper level than I thought anybody would. And I think from previous experience, it would have been a case of no one that I think would have gone to that level of understanding and really detailed and looking at every single bit of value that the business has to offer. And if there's anything that might jeopardise that, knowing how to manage it and resolve it. And I think it's just like having someone steer you through the process, and I felt very comfortable having him sort of like at the helm, sort of taking us through that process. I think it was absolutely invaluable to us.
Yeah, I mean, the expectation, I mean, you hear in the market what multiples are being sort of bandied around, and I think you've got to take that with a pinch of salt, because you always hear of success stories and people selling for 10 times and all this sort of stuff. The actual reality of it is you're only worth whatever anyone's prepared to pay for you. So we're both pragmatic and we both realised that. We were happy with what we got.
Yeah, I think the outcome was the best outcome we could expect at that moment in time. And as I say, we're realists, and once we know that it's only worth what someone's going to pay for it. So whatever value we have in our head and whatever value people may speculate for, it's only going to get what it's worth from the buyer that's prepared to pay for it. And I think in the grand scheme of things, I think we did very well.
Oh, the level of...
It was daunting, it was daunting. And it was sort of, for my process, I felt like we've done it 3 times, a little bit, because we did the pre-sales due diligence with you guys and answered a lot of financial questions and drilled down on a lot of information. Then we get the sale process and we get this multitude of other stuff coming through. In their format, in their paperwork, in how they want things done. So you then probably redo what you've already done, but into their format and their process. And then you've got all the legal side of stuff, which we hadn't even touched on up to that point, which was, I think their view was it was like they were buying £1 billion business rather than what they were buying, because it was just so much due diligence and legal requirements and warranties. And I mean, the legal guy said they'd never seen a deal with so much information needing. So that was a whole process. And then once it had happened, so they were asking similar sort of questions or the same questions. It felt like we went through it 3 times, in all honesty, but it's necessary. I do the same if I was buying a business. We did do the same, and we found out the business wasn't worth what we were looking to pay for it. So it was a good process to do. No, I think that was it was because it's no staff, no offices. Everyone saw it as a straightforward, easy transaction, which it turned to be anything but. But we still had no staff and no premises. It wasn't complicated by anything from our side of things. So no, I mean, I've thought about it quite a lot about what would be changed and what we do differently. So I think you guys did a great job. I think you understanding the process. We didn't know the process, so being guided through it with you and Sam and Nigel, it was really helpful from our point of view. And expectations, as we say, it's probably not set the expectations that it should be a quick transaction. It's, you know, it will be what it will be, but it could be 18 months, could be a year. But if it's anything less, it's a bonus.
I mean, it was a surprise.
Yeah, it worked out really well, and it was the perfect U-turn for us.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that the deal sort of looked like it was going to collapse at one point, and then it got done, I think, just made the euphoria even better, didn't it? Really.
Yeah.
We both wanted to experience the process of selling a business. I would say that it was a lot harder than what I expected it to be. Especially the fact that we're only a small business and there was just the two of us, and as Gary said, we've got no premises. The level of detail that you guys went into was necessary. So I think just have expectations that it's not going to be a quick, easy thing. It's going to be you know, a good detailed period of time. Yes, very much so. Yeah.
I think one of the key things for me, for both of us really, was that we know people who sold businesses and we've had horror stories about how they agree a price at the beginning, and then when it comes to the final payments, settlements, it's chipped away. So what you agree and what you get can be pulled apart, and we wanted to protect against that. And as I say, we wanted an insurance policy, which is what you guys were to us. And you absolutely, true to your word, did that. And all the work you do up front. So when you pitched us, the valuation we got back in Christmas Eve, heads of terms came through. So the valuation we got on Christmas Eve to what we got on the 22nd of June remains rock solid, and you fought hard and you persistently kept that valuation. And that's, to me, was the biggest reason we came to you guys. We believe you'd do that for us, and you absolutely did. So thank you.
Great. Good. Thanks, boss. That's it.
It's a wrap.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
Evolution Capital is the first UK corporate finance boutique to exclusively focus on providing advice to the ICT sector. We are the leaders in our field. With activities spanning 3 decades, we have provided strategic and transactional advice to over 200 technology entrepreneurs, shareholders and management teams of both privately owned and public companies. We deliver outstanding transactional outcomes by unlocking intrinsic value in our clients' businesses, by providing expert advice based on meticulous analysis and robust methodologies. This is who we are and how we do it.